Welcome to my tutorial for Act Fancer for the arcade. This one took me around 2 hours and 34 minutes to beat. I'm not including an extra 1 hour and 50 minutes spent quite a few years ago when I started working on this game, and then I just stopped playing around the last stage. I think I kind of said fuck it. I think I was kind of tired from that session, but I never went back to it. I should have gave it more time, but this time I decided to go back and actually beat it. So I'm only including the time I spent recently, since I had forgotten all the details of my previous time playing the game. I beat it in a single sitting, but it was still frustrating. It's not an easy game, that's for sure. But it's very doable. I have some specific strategies for the final stage. That's a real bitch if you don't do it a certain way. So the way the game works is you have two buttons. You have a fire button, which I set to turbo on a controller that has turbo functionality, and that's always helpful. So I'd recommend doing that if you can. It may be a little bit different with some of the strats if you're mashing, but I think worst case you may just be fighting the bosses a little bit longer and dealing with the same patterns. So it probably won't make a huge difference. But you have your fire button and you have a jump button, and if you hold up after jumping, you'll float, and that's a very important part of the control. So you want to use that floating as you're jumping and shooting through the environment. You want to float and hover for a while. You can skip shit, and you can hit enemies that are higher above you, or you can focus in on an enemy's or a boss's weak spot by staying hovering for a little while and continuously firing. But the hover has a limited amount of time before you start to float back down. So that's pretty much it for the controls. The one thing I found out at the very end of my playthrough was that collecting the red orb seems to demote your power level. So basically I would say avoid the red orbs. Don't collect them like you see me doing here, because I didn't really know what they did. I didn't know what anything did. But the blue orbs will power you up. And if you get enough of them, you'll get to this ultimate form, which I believe this is the final form that you get, the most powerful one. But it will allow you to take at least one hit when you're powered up, but I don't really understand how that works, because sometimes I'd get hit and I'd get demoted back down to my base form, and I'm not sure how that works exactly. But you can probably take an extra hit if you're powered up. So here you can kind of just fix in place and keep shooting at this thing. And if you do it fast enough, you can take it out pretty quick. And you may have to dodge some of these laser rings. This part's really easy. Just wait for the bottom one and shoot at it, and then jump over it or float over it. And that's about it. It'll come down to the bottom eventually, so very easy boss. But yeah, collect the blue orbs mainly. Avoid the red ones. And also your power-ups, you seem to lose your power-up level over time as well if you don't collect blue orbs frequently. It seems like your power level just goes down automatically through time. So those are the things I noticed, but I still don't quite understand exactly how many blue power-ups it takes to get the full powered-up form, or if you can take multiple hits when you're powered up. I haven't really figured it out, but I just kind of just play the game, and I didn't think about it super deeply or try to really analyze it too much. But I will say that you want to get the blue orbs whenever you can. And that's going to be essential for the final stage. You're going to want to have a very specific path. Now, this is a hard stage, as are pretty much, all 4 stages are pretty challenging. But the first stage, not so much. It's a kind of an introduction. It's a little challenging, but I didn't really have much to say about the first stage. But this one can take a while, so you want to kind of keep getting your blue orbs and just move through at a steady pace. Clear out some enemies before moving a little bit, because it goes on for a long time. And there are no mid-stage checkpoints as far as I know. I don't think there's any in this game. I thought there was, but I don't think there is. So for this guy, try to get to him fully powered up if you can, and you can take him out pretty fast by hovering in place. Keep in mind that shooting these modules will release more blue orbs, so you can keep your power up. And you're going to want to do that for this final form here, and if you're powered up like I am here, you can take this thing out pretty fucking fast by just hovering in place and shooting at it. Just shoot that long thing, that horn. And Now, if you're not as powered up, it's going to take longer to take it out. You may actually take a hit, so it's good to be more powered up for that part. Always use save states on an emulator to practice bosses and specific sections. I mainly used it just to practice some bosses. So this stage can be, a little challenging as well. Actually, this one is quite hard. But I found that getting down in this area, getting as many power-ups as I can and then getting down on these platforms and kind of hovering in specific spots, I can kind of just bust through. But a lot of it, some of it was routine, but a lot of it was just luck, just busting through. I just kept trying this route again and again until I could squeeze through. So I don't have a ton of strategy for that, but eventually you can break through. And now for the boss is extremely easy. There's a safe spot where you don't even have to fight the boss, but you do have to wait a moment to have the platform available. So dodge this, and now go up here and just crouch and shoot. And that's it. Just stay like that, and the boss can't hit you. So, it's very easy. The stage itself, the stages are short, but, now that's a shorter one, but it's pretty dense. So it can be tough. But if you follow that route, similarly, you can kind of break through eventually by just hovering around and trying to hover through there. But it's very easy to get killed. But there is blue orbs and things you can pick up along the way that can help and allow you to take some extra hits. You don't have to worry about being powered up for this boss. As you can see, I'm in the base form, and it's super easy with that safe spot. So now this is the final stage. So what you want to do is you want to master this first part and get all the blue orbs you can to get fully powered up. Avoid the red ones. Watch out for the tiny sperms that you see floating around. Those will kill you. They look harmless, but they're a pain in the ass. See, I'm floating over them right now. But yeah, you want to be fully powered up as you see here. And then you can kind of just float. The first platform will drop, but after that you can kind of just float across here and skip this whole area. So I recommend that. For the boss, make sure you make a save state and practice all three forms of the boss. But I would say practice it in the fully powered up state, since that's the way you want to do it. Now for that, it was a short fight because I'm powered up, but there is a timing to those tentacles, and he releases them. He shoots one, and then he shoots the second one quickly after. So you got to get used to the timing and the rhythm of it. It's going to happen at the same time every time. And then for that second form, you're going to jump over those white balls, and they're going to be in the same positions each time, and then you're going to jump over the crawling aliens. And now each crawling alien you jump over, you can jump twice and fire a timed shot at the enemy. So you're going to want to time those shots instead of just holding the button down. You're going to want to, if you have turbo on, you're probably holding the button down the whole time. You want to kind of time your shots and burst as you jump, so you get those shots in. Then for the final form, I took it out real fast because that was the idea. I wanted to get there fully powered up for the final form. The reason being is because the final form is brutally difficult without being fully powered up. It's pretty much like cheap bullshit. Homing missiles will spawn into the area, and they're going to keep more and more homing missiles are going to appear until the whole screen is filled with homing missiles that are chasing you the whole time, and you have almost nowhere to move. So it's really not recommended to try to fight that final form without all your power-ups. So that's why I say that the key to this stage, aside from practicing all three forms with save states, the key is mastering that first part of the final stage and making sure you can get the full power-up. And then you can move across and skip that area. But you want to make sure you're fully powered up. If not, you're gonna get really fucked over by the final form. It's one of those cheap tricks. But aside from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty challenging game. It's not one of the hardest arcade games or anything. I mean, it's on the more moderate side for an arcade game, but it's still quite difficult and it can be a pain in the ass. But if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.